These are the top 3 best Super Yeti attack strategies to smash any base, no matter your town hall level. Now, each of these attacks are going to use either the Fireball or the Royal Champion Charge, thanks to their abilities to clear defenses inside the base while setting up great funneling. So one such option is using the Super Yeti with the Root Riders. Taking out the Valkyries and putting Super Yetis allows them to provide better support with their high HP, high DPS, and inability to be sprung. Overall, we're going to be starting with the Royal Champion Charge first, using the Royal Champion with her Haste Vial and starting to use our invisibility spells every 4 seconds. This is going to allow us to get deeper into the base, clearing out different defensive structures in there, which is going to set up great funneling. We do want to make sure that we are getting as much of that corner down as possible. This is going to allow us to then recall her out, which is going to set up one side of our funnel. You can use a couple Super Barbarians in order to help clear through some of the leftover trash buildings. Now, over on the other side, we're going to be running the Siege Barrack with the Minion Prince. This is going to allow the Siege Barrack to clear through the trash buildings and set up great pathing, while the Minion Prince is using his Noble Iron and the Metal Pants in order to clear through defensive structures. This is going to allow you to set up a perfect funnel on the other side, making it way better and way easier for you to send your Root Riders and Super Yetis through the middle of the base. From there, you've got a perfect funnel set to where your Root Riders, your Super Yetis, healers, Grand Warden, Queen, and recalled Royal Champion can start moving in. This way you have a lot of support as you work into the core, where you can use an early rage spell in order to power everything in, and as you get to the core, you'll use your Grand Warden's Eternal Tome and Healing Tome. You have balloons to look for any Seeking Air Mines or Red Air Bombs, so this should allow them to stay alive. You also have the back end rage spell, and having these Super Yetis is just so clutch, as you're going to be able to really just chain through so many of these buildings, all in part thanks to the Electromites. Other than this, you will absolutely dominate through. The Root Riders opening walls, the Super Yetis with their higher DPS, and the inability to be sprung are just really strong options, and taking out the Valkyries allows this to be a very consistent option for you to 3-star any base with. Another solid option is to pair the Super Yeti with the Electro Titans. This combo lets you deal with anything air or ground while having a ton of damage and tanking within the base to clear through. To start off, you'll want to use the Royal Champion Charge. With her Haste Vial equipped, you're going to be able to clear through defenses early on while using your invisibility spells every 4 seconds. This is going to give you the most amount of value as you work from defense to defense, clearing out a solid funnel, which is entirely what you want for your Super Yetis, but then that way you can get a lot of these defenses down and make things so much easier so you can recall your Royal Champion. If there are some trash buildings left over, I do recommend using a baby dragon or two to clear those out. Now, on the other side of the base, you're going to run the Siege Barrack, the Archer Queen, and a couple furnaces if you have access to them in order to cut off a wide area off the base. This is going to cut off your attack to send your Titans and Super Yetis through the base, so having the Queen with her action figure will be able to clear defenses, possibly open walls, and obviously create a solid funnel. Having any furnaces does also help too, as the proper tanking will allow your furnaces to get additional value. Now with the funnel set on either side, you can now finally use your Electro Titans and Super Yetis in order to start moving into the core to clear it out. You've got healers to provide support for your entire push, as you want to make sure that these guys stay alive. Having super wall breakers opens up the base, but you also have the Yak to help your troops move through. Of course, you want to make sure that you are using a rage spell as you move into the core, along with the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome and Healing Tome. This is then going to allow you to open up the entire rest of the base with the Barbarian King's Earthquake Boots and Spiky Ball. This should open up a large enough area where you pretty much have your Super Yetis and your Electro Titans smashing through the rest. Having the Royal Champion more towards on the back end of the base is going to help you clear through any remaining structures. Though, having her within the attack with the Super Yetis and the Electro Titans will still allow you to 3-star more often than not with this very powerful strategy. And of course, you compare the Super Yetis with the Fireball to clear bases with ease. This is all in part to how tanky and strong the Super Yeti is while being supported by the Troop Launcher. So with a Fireball attack, we're going to be starting with our invisibility spells. This way, we can use them over defenses close by to get the Fireball off and clear out defenses. This is going to create great funneling on one side of our funnel. We also can use the furnaces, but we don't necessarily need to. They definitely though can help speed up your Warden Walk on one side. On the other, you've got the Archer Queen. She's being used with her magic mirror and action figure in order to not only tank damage, but also provide enough survivability for our queen. This way, we have a perfect funnel set on either side to use our Super Yetis with the Troop Launcher to start working through the rest. So with the funnel set on either side, we have got the Super Yetis to start working in with the Grand Warden, Barbarian King, and Apprentice Warden to provide support. Balloons are here to look for any Seeking Air Mines, especially as we dive into the core, but that's not all. We want to have these to protect our healers later on. This way we can use an early rage along with a free spell to prevent too much damage from the Monolith and Town Hall while using the Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots to open up the base. This is going to allow us to get towards the back end with a jump spell to boot in order to clear open the final remaining defensive compartments, in addition to using a rage spell to push the Super Yetis in. This is also going to allow us to keep our healers alive as they work through. This is going to make it a little bit easier since we also have the Royal Champion to go on the back end of the base. This is going to help clear through any final remaining structures while the Super Yetis are able to very easily crush through the final remaining defenses, especially since they do so much damage. Otherwise, as long as you have a solid amount of Super Yetis up, and of course you have the Royal Champion clearing through final remaining defenses, you'll more often than not be able to 3-star with a strategy like this. Now, hopefully this gives you an idea of how strong the Super Yeti is and how you can have the most success with it. If you do want some more info on the new Super Yeti, check this short out for all the details and check this video out since YouTube says it's best for you.